In this video, rather than a Japanese slang term, I'm going to be talking about a Japanese kind of meme template that popped off on November 7th of 2025. I don't think this has like long legs or anything, but I thought it was kind of funny, and I wanted to document it before it's kind of lost from everyone's collective imagination. So let's just do it. The meme we're going to discuss is centered around the phrase above my head, 今、国民が削減すべきと感じているのは、議員の定数ではなく, which translates as, what the people of this country feel right now needs to be reduced is not the set number of the members of the lower house of government, but rather ... This phrase results in a statement that was made by Sohei Kamiya, who is the head of the far-right Sanseito party, and this was done on November 6th during a kind of Q&A style session with Takaichi Sanai, the current prime minister of Japan, where basically politicians in the house state things that they think are important, to ask the prime minister's opinion on things, etc. It's quite a common little thing. And a topic that came up quite a lot during this was debates over whether or not they should reduce the number of members of the lower house. This has been something that's been in the debate in the news. General consensus is they're trying to reduce it by about 10 people. But Kamiya stood up to do what he does best, which is derail the conversation to focus on foreigners, stating that rather than reducing the number of members of the lower house, what is really important, what the people of Japan really want, is a reduction in the number of foreigners, as you can see here.
今、国民が削減すべきと感じているのは、議員の定数ではなく、外国人の受け入れ数だと我々は考えています。
Now, this statement is just like a statement that he kind of always makes, but what made this statement the basis for like a Japanese net meme wasn't really the statement itself, but the way that the subtitles were used on the channel that created the clip that I just showed you. Because if you didn't catch it, rather than putting it all on one, the first statement cuts off at dewanaku with a large amount of space left there, making it look like there was text, but the text has been cut. Indeed, the first time I saw this template, I assumed that someone had manually gone in there and Photoshop erased it, but no, that's just the actual image. So the next day, on November 7th, a small Twitter account made a parody where right after dewanaku, they added in the text komugiko shokuhin, or wheat-based products. This is a joking reference to the fact that Kamiya believes that wheat is a globalist conspiracy to destroy Japan and ruin the health of the Japanese people. No, I'm not kidding. I guess despite being a Japanese nationalist, he's not really in favor of supporting the Japanese beer and whiskey industries, unlike myself, who is a massive patriot. But let's move on. Immediately under this first meme, the same person then posted the template, which again required no editing on their part, noting that it just screamed out for them to kind of make a meme out of it, to make a template. And the internet agreed, giving way more likes to the template than the poor person's original meme. Which seems rude, but you know, internet ethics. Anyway, as a result of this, a huge number of memes started to be made where people put in text after the dewanaku, taking advantage of that gap there where something could just go. One of the most popular ones is this one here, which complains about men being shoved into yuri relationships in Japanese media. In other words, media where it's supposed to be about a relationship between two women and then a male appears as a romantic figure. They don't want that. Neither do 93,000 other people, which makes me think that whoever made this meme is a prime candidate for creating their own political party. With 52,000 likes, the second most popular one I found was this one complaining about the various fences that they have in ZEP concert halls, which seem to be something that are very unpopular. Other people, though, complained about, for instance, paying tuition to go to a national university, which, you know, I get. And a quite surprisingly popular one was this one here, which got 4,000 plus likes. And I say surprisingly, though, because this actually references kind of a meme within the Japanese metal community to explain they've replaced Kamiya's face with the face of the guitarist for Slipknot, who years ago said in a video that when you're a guitarist trying to be famous in a band, you shouldn't drink and you shouldn't go out, you should only practice, save all the partying and stuff for once you've already made it. And that video was very, very popular in the Japanese metal community. And so this is a reference to that, saying that what guitarists, rather than the people of Japan, really want is not a reduction in the members of the lower house, but rather a reduction in drinking alcohol and going out. The third most popular was then one complaining about married idols, which I don't vibe with that, but I do know it's a very common sentiment in the Japanese internet. Another funny face swap one is this one here, which uses Mao's face and is kind of a parody of the For Pest Eradication campaign, talking about a need for the reduction in sparrows. And then there were a bunch of tiny ones that were super obscure. Most of them I didn't understand, but I did understand this one because it's complaining about an error in the digital Magic the Gathering client, wherein a number that should be 2 is instead rendered as X, asking for a reduction in these kind of problems. So all this then just spawned from this one post. Indeed, I went back and checked on the date that Kamiya made these comments, and while I could find people praising and criticizing his actual statement, I couldn't find anyone making a joke about it on that day. And I think the reason why is that, while of course somebody could have the original idea of, hey, let's cut off the text after dewanaku and just put whatever we want there, the fact that it appeared on a TV with that kind of gap just sitting there, begging to be filled with some kind of other text, is what made this actually something that went viral. Because after the 7th, once all these image memes kind of went, you are then able to find people using the text itself and putting text there without any kind of image, because, sometimes making an image takes more time and you don't have time. Like this person here is clearly so frustrated with browsers that appear inside of apps that they just wanted to state it via text, and look, I get it. I agree. So there you go. If you've seen this, that's the meme, that's where it comes from. And if you'd like to complain about something, or if you'd like to see something reduced, this is a way that you can say that, such as me desiring to reduce any and all threats to the Japanese whiskey industry.